What's up, everybody? Welcome to the TMJFB Post Draft Power Rankings, Episode 3. We're ranking the number 8 and the number 7 team today. Again, if you're one of my subs and you want to have a little insight to our league, stick around and you can see the rankings as they come out each day. If not, well, boys, let's jump right on into the rankings. Why not? So, we previously ranked, We had Tom, John, so we had the Young Bucks, the Nittany Tide, and then we had a little bit of a swerve here. We took Dip City and we took Springfield, some teams that were probably not too expected to be dropped back into the rankings a little bit. Now, I think that the next one might come as an even more surprise, or maybe not, depending on how much you've looked into this, is actually going to be Country Strong, and I'm sure that they were not expecting to see them number 8 on this list. They were waiting till 2 days from now, 3 days from now to see their name on the list, and they're fuming right now is my guess, because how could they not go up with all the talent that's on here? To me right now, Country Strong is a big mystery. It's a mystery team. That's what it is. We don't know what we have here. This could be the best team in the league this year, and every single one of these guys down here could break out. They all could, but they also have quite a lot to prove, and it hasn't been proven yet, and a lot of them aren't in situations that will allow them to prove it right away. And so let's get into what I'm talking about. And I want to start. Actually, I'm going to start this time jumping right into the pitching. So, to me, building a successful fantasy team needs risk and it needs trustability at the same time. And it's hard to balance those two together. You need to kind of have those veterans that kind of go with your young guys in real life so they can kind of blend together. So you could pull your young guys up and your veterans can be stable. So when I talk about pitching here, I want to talk about like who do I trust? Because there's plenty of upside throughout this, right? Brendan McKay and Spencer Howard, obviously big upside guys. Who do I trust? Who am I going to put in every week no matter what? So obviously DeGrom, because he's the first and or second best pitcher in the league, obviously. Next is Max Fried. I still think that there's some questions about him a little bit, but I'm just going to, right off the bat, put him in the mix of, yeah, he's pitching every single week. No matter what team he's on, he's going to be starting. Okay, so after that, who are we really trusting at this point? So, are we really going to say that Pablo Lopez and Lance McCullers are going to be dominant forces? I'm not really willing to say that. Lance McCullers has been hurt forever and never pitches, but maybe this is the year. Pablo Lopez has a lot of hype going into him, but he's also going to be facing the Mets, the Phillies, the Braves, an awful lot. So it's, do I really trust throwing him out there against the Mets when DeGrom's on the mound? Maybe because they're on the same team, in this case. But do I really trust them? Nah. I mean, he'll be out there obviously because Country won't have another choice. Musgrove has a lot to prove as well. Going to San Diego is good, but what is this guy really made of? We're going to find out this year. But as of right now, that's the next trustable person. So your kind of 5 is right here. And, of the 5, really only 2 of them are guys that I feel confident every week throwing out there. Like, do you really like Joe Musgrove playing against the Dodgers? Not really. And then after that, so what do we got after that? What's the depth look like? Because I've totally skipped Sixto Sanchez, right? Well, after that is where we just get into mystery land for me, and I don't like mystery land. Spencer Howard right now is not on the Phillies team. And I think he actually had a mild back or something spasm. He'll be fine, but he's not currently on the team. And I think the same goes for Brendan McKay. Both of them do not have starting pitching jobs right now in the major leagues. Valdez is hurt, something with his finger. This could be a great deal. At the end of the day, this could be a fantastic deal. He could come back this year, and next year, this could be a great deal. But as of right now, this moment, he's not pitching, and who knows what we're going to get out of him. Mitch Keller plays for Pittsburgh. I don't care who you are if you play for Pittsburgh. He has upside, sure, but he's going to win 5 games at most. Probably, maybe, at best. And then we have Sixto, who is a bit of a wild card. Obviously, Weist almost needs him to become more of one of these top tier guys and actually be that for an entire season. Do I think he's going to get more than 150 innings? I'm not so sure. And he's also got the Pablo Lopez problem where he's playing the Mets, he's playing the Braves, he's playing the Phillies, he's playing Washington. That's who he's playing all year long. So for me, this pitching is rather, it doesn't exist in the majors. Like these guys aren't even there. Or you have these kind of guys that you have absolutely no idea what you're actually going to get out of them. So for me, what you really have is DeGrom and Fried and a mystery beans after that. For me, that's just me. Obviously, we have Nate Pearson down here. He's not called up. If you're not going to call him up preseason, then odds are you're probably not going to call him up during the year unless you're in the run. So, Andy's hurt again. He re-hurt his hamstring again. Um, Down here in AAA, does it get any better? Freddie Peralta's been crazy good, but we have no idea what's coming out of there. More Magic Beans. AJ Puck, same thing. He's starting now, supposedly, but again, who knows what you're going to get out of that? More Magic Beans. So I don't feel comfortable with Magic Beans, and it's eating up quite a bit of cap here, unfortunately. So I would have felt a lot better had this team had one more like surefire, even a veteran, or even some of these guys that were kind of towards the tail end of drafts that were kind of like, oh yeah, he sucks, and yeah, they might, but at least they're going to play Major League Baseball. So that's where my biggest knock on Country is, and that's why I just don't know where to put them. I can't really put them higher. Even though we'll talk about how good the hitting is here, I can't really put them higher because, for all I know, they might have three pitchers this year that are anything worth talking about. So that's going to be really interesting. And on the other side, they could all break out, and Spencer Howard could come up and dominate. And, Brendan McKay could figure out a shoulder and dominate. That's what's capable of these guys. But until I kind of see that a little bit more, I'm not trusting anybody from this group right here at all. Nobody. Nobody from this group. So there you go. Hitting wise, I know that we said he wasn't too thrilled about Rizzo. I actually love this Rizzo deal. I'd have given him years on that. That's how much I love it. So like for me, this right here is a power five. This is the best part of Weist's team, and this is the part that you're going to be watching each week and really looking out for and hoping that they don't go absolutely nuts. Tatis, I could see having a sophomore slump. I could see it. I mean, it's possible. It happens to every great player. I mean, it happened to Tulo, it happened to Machado. It happens to all these guys all the time. Joey Gallo has like 8 home runs in spring, and I know you can't put too much emphasis on spring training, but it's pretty crazy what he's doing in there. For me, a little bit of a magic bean. Don't forget Trent Grisham down here, wherever he is, and so he's also hurt. So there's another, kind of okay, he's hurt. Don't love the relief pitching situation, though there's cap to kind of get that away. So if it wasn't for this top 5, it might be even lower, just because this looks like a rebuilding team, not a team ready to go for it. And I don't know, maybe that's what Weist is looking for, is maybe all in future. But at some point, you kind of have to cut the ties of the future and really try to go after it. In AAA, it's nice seeing this because the AAA, like when we decided to expand the benches into AAA, Weist had the biggest advantage because these guys all have high potential and can probably sub in sometimes more than some of these guys down here. Like, when's Miles Straw gonna really play over Acuna, Betts, and any of these guys, right? But Reyes is gonna sub in and play util quite a lot. Right, but the downside to this is if you kind of add this up and take this, and then you add Spencer Howard, you add McKay, kind of all these prospects into this mix. Is there anybody else down here? Right now I'm at 1346, and you know what? I'm going to add the cut guys because why not? I'm at 1771, and then I add $9 of cap. This is essentially $25 that are kind of unused. Obviously, Grisham is used, but it's kind of like, I don't want to call it completely dead cap because it's not, but $25. If you, I would rather trade every single. What I'm getting at is, I would rather trade every single one of these guys, and that's a big ask. The biggest one being Abrams, but I would trade every one of them for, where is he? I mean, there's your $25. I mean, obviously that would put you all the way up to the cap and all that stuff, but you get the point, right? Is that all of this money is now being spent here instead of on actual players that push you forward. So for me, these guys have to break out or else this team's going to fade. And if they do break out, then we're talking championship. But if they don't, then it's a hard fade back into the void again, which is not really what you want to hear. Like, I would rather be solid instead of like who knows what I'm going to get out of my season. So that's why I have Weist at 8. I was expecting to move him forward, but it didn't happen. So here's where we are. Next up, we're going all the way over to Midtown Jags, who once again gets a nice little ranking from me. I believe in Midtown. I think it's a matter of time. I think that he's got the right amount. It's like this right mix of like real talent and prospect and upside guys, and I'm talking, right in here, right here. Like these guys are all right here again. Though he did just have an abdominal issue, but whatever. All of these guys are like right there on the cusp of becoming like superstars, especially these three. I'm not as high on the up here, but that's okay. He's going to play second base now. It's confirmed. Or sorry, he's going to play first base in real life now. It's confirmed. So next year it might be a little awkward for the lineup, but for this year it looks really good. And so obviously Bichette goes in at shortstop. Not the greatest third base situation, but that's okay. This outfield though is absolutely insane, isn't it? I mean, look at that outfield. That's really good. And so that's the kind of thing that I like through and through. This is a full depth team of actual talent that is going to be good, and they're all going to be good. So this hitting lineup might be in the top 3, maybe 4 in the league right now. Which now I need to, of course, look at the pitching. I'll start with relief pitching. Obviously, didn't put a lot of stock into the relief pitching, and that's fine. I am somebody who does, so I look at this as more of a negative. But he does have a few bucks in cap here that can kind of combat that a little bit. Like John can go to $2 here because he's fine unless these guys get hurt. And you say, yeah, guys can get hurt the same amount, but yeah, but the odds on these guys losing their job is almost guaranteed, whereas the odds of them losing their job is not very likely. So that's where you're purchasing that extra stuff, and you do end up spending a lot of money on relief pitching when you get stuck in that hole. But next, I want to talk about. I mean, these two guys to me are absolutely tops. I mean, Yu Darvish to me is a top 10 pitcher easily, and Bieber is a top 2 pitcher easily. And I know exactly what I'm getting out of both of them, and I love that. After that, it does drop off. So we just talked about Weist and having a like kind of a magic bean kind of a feel. There is a little bit of that here, but I think that there's still more proof in some of these guys. Even Robbie Ray, who was awful. Me and Michael looked it up. He walked 8 guys per 9 last year or so, but there's still like a little bit of a veteran feel in him that says maybe I can bounce back and be something like I was, whereas like a Mitch Keller, you literally have no idea what you're going to get. He might be out of the league in a couple of years. Who knows, right? So for me, I'm not saying I'd rather have Robbie Ray, but it's kind of like it's closer than it might seem. Montes, it's hard to gauge what you're going to get from him, but people seem to be saying good things, and same thing as with Bassett. So I don't think there's a lot of depth here in the pitching, but what I do know is that there's 2 of the best pitchers in the league right now, and or he's going to have to find a way to fill it in. With the rest of the guys. So the reason he's not higher is because of this depth, the pitching depth. This isn't the greatest thing in the world. So the pitching depth is what's holding him back. But what's keeping him at 7 is the offense. I love it. It's great, and I think it's got upside, and I think it's got a good mix of vets and guys with upside, and guys that you can just kind of slot in as they get hot. So that's the list today. That's number 8 and number 7. Probably not what you expect. And if you're West Coast, you notice that you haven't been selected yet. So that's pretty cool, huh? I didn't put you in the bottom half. Well, yeah, next will be 6. So yeah, all right. Well, good work. Anyway, guys, till next time. See ya.